inZOI is yet another game that has managed to rip people in completely opposite directions. You have your diehard fans from the Sims community picking over every possible thing to tear down inZOI before it was even released. Then you have the total opposite of that, inZOI fans who are in love with the game, wearing rose-colored glasses and spreading toxic positivity without allowing any room for constructive feedback. It's a lot to go over, so we're gonna be discussing everything today, and I'm gonna attempt to talk about the AI controversy, the Sims Creator Network outrage, the hate that is happening, and overall, a lot of hypocrisy. But before I do that, I have to disclaim this. I grew up playing The Sims 1, 2, 3, and now 4, as well as playing and loving all spin-off titles, including Herbs, Bustin' Out, the PlayStation version of Sims 2, My Sims, Sims Medieval, Life Story, Castaway, you name it, I've played it. I come from a generation who adored The Sims as a kid, but I highly disliked The Sims 4's anti-consumer approach where buying all expansion packs, even on a sale, cost like as much as a freaking new budget PC. I think that is ridiculous and unacceptable, and I wish we can go back to how Sims was. Yeah, there were DLCs always, but in Sims 2, at least when you get a DLC, you actually get a lot in return for it. And overall, I just feel like there was a lot more love and passion dedicated towards Sims 2 than Sims 4 ever has. And please note that I am not gonna allow a single disrespectful comment in the comment section. If you're new to this channel, we are all about kind and just beautiful conversations where we get to share our opinions without being nasty. If you're gonna be nasty, you're gonna be banned off the channel. I look forward to your thoughts. Let's dive into this. So, I saw a few creators address this specific review posted on GamesRadar by Miri Texera, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, with the headline, inZOI currently feels like a soulless imitation of the worst parts of The Sims, with a verdict that states, for all the noise about a rich, simulated reality, inZOI currently underperforms and overpromises. It's a gorgeous game with a best-in-class character creator, but doesn't provide anything amounting to a fulfilling life for its Zois, who largely exist to eat, sleep, and go to work. All of the pieces are in place, and there's hope yet, but its depiction of life's narrative falls short at present. Miri also shares the following pros: incredible customization options, visually stunning, lots of potential. As for cons, Miri writes, monotonous, unrewarding, and limited gameplay. Still feels very early stage, doesn't always connect the dots conceptually. I played inZOI ahead of its launch and I streamed it for you guys because Krafton provided me with a key. And you know how we do things on this channel, but again, if you're new, whether I am gifted something or sponsored by a publisher or developer, I always keep it real. And there's something that is like a misconception that a lot of people just throw around on the internet. Whether you're gifted something or you're sponsored, you can still have your own values and decide what type of content and what kind of creator and brand you want to be. With me, I always make sure that my contracts allow me to give fair criticism, and you've seen how I am. Whether I'm sponsored or gifted, I always tell you things how they are. If I like something, I'm gonna let you know. If I don't, I'm gonna let you know, whether I'm paid for it or not. So even if you've seen other creators do something opposite of how I do things, please don't go pointing fingers in the comment section being like, oh, you got paid today, say this, and she's done sponsored work before and stuff like that. I feel like, yeah, this video is probably a good space for me to make sure that you guys know how I operate. With that said, no, Krafton did not pay me to, talk about inZOI in my stream or anything. Krafton last week worked with me on a video for Dincome, and I still shared what I like and what I didn't like, and yeah, so I don't want to be proving myself, but I know a lot of people sometimes come to videos with their own made-up conceptions already, so I think it's a good thing to make sure that you know where I stand when it comes to sponsorships and gifted codes and all of that. So when I played inZOI, I loved the Create a Zoi feature. It is incredible to see the amount of depth in creating your character. I thought I'm just gonna spend like 30 minutes at best creating my Zoi, but we ended up being there for like an hour and a half, and at one point I was just rushing the process. However, after I've played 3 hours of the game, I was just feeling bored. Like, yeah, it has potential, but it's very early stage as Miri expressed in the review. The game lacks depth. It's lacking making me feel rewarded as a player. It doesn't explain things well. And you know, with these kind of games, I like to play them because I'm like, oh, let me play one more day. I just want to play just a little bit more. I was just really bored playing it. And I was just like, yeah, I get like the concept, but the game just feels boring and yeah, it's not there yet. Looking at the in-game manual, you get overwhelmed with the information without being eased into learning the game. Sure, having played Sims before allowed me to figure out the basics, but at the end of the day, this is still a new game from a new team, so I hope that the tutorial will help introduce gameplay mechanics in a better way. And speaking of gameplay mechanics, again, there is just lack of depth, and the developers themselves admit this shortcoming right now, and this is why they went the early access route. On the inZOI Steam page, you find the following question. What is the current state of the early access version? To which the devs write, the current version includes most of the game's foundational systems, such as our base simulation and visual elements, especially character customization, create a ZOI. Ongoing additions mean optimization, game depth, and interaction systems will have room for improvement. We also plan to enhance driving mechanic and the dynamic event system. So clearly they are saying it out loud. The game has the foundations ready, but it does not have that gameplay depth. And they're not lying, they're just telling you exactly what to expect with the game. For example, even when I was playing the game on stream, I felt like the social interactions were very out of place. I said in the live stream, it feels like ChatGPT was just prompted to come up with different topics to discuss with a friend and just pad out a bunch of random topics. It just feels out of place. So yes, I agree with Miri, the game feels soulless. But Miri, the reviewer, also mentioned there is potential that inZOI has. This is early access, so with time, hopefully with the new updates, things will get better and we'll have more to do. So with all that said, I would consider this is a fair and constructive criticism of inZOI. But let's shift towards the extremes that we have been seeing in the community. The hate towards the game versus the utter rose-colored love that makes no sense. People are treating feedback on this game as black and white. There's no gray area in there. And this is not good because this is an early access game, which means the developers need your feedback, your honest feedback, so that they can cater the game towards what you want it to be. The devs specifically said on their Steam page, the life simulation genre presents a unique challenge, capturing the depth and complexity of life in a video game. We view our development as not a sprint, but more like a marathon, which requires time to build different features that will make inZOI feel increasingly lifelike. Prioritizing which features to develop first is critical, and we believe open communication with players is the best way to achieve this. This approach embodies the essence of early access and will be vital in helping us create the best possible version of inZOI. They want your feedback, and they're actually listening. Let's look at the evidence. Players were not happy to see de nouveau. Now, I've seen this term thrown around before, especially around the release of Hogwarts Legacy, but I didn't really know what it meant until recently. So de nouveau is like a piracy check for the game to make sure that you have a legit copy of the game, rather than having a cracked version that you have installed through the web, thus not paying the devs money to purchase the game. Because of that, it means that you need to be online all the time. Correct me if I'm wrong about the connectivity, I would love to know more. But what happens is that these constant checks that this security system does will cause the game loading times to become longer, the game will also be laggy, slow, and even crash sometimes. inZOI already has pretty high requirements to run in the first place, so adding de nouveau on top of that is a recipe for disaster. And with that in mind, Krafton recently announced that they're listening and they are going to remove de nouveau. This will also allow community modding down the line, and through checking some Steam reviews as well as Reddit forums, it seems like gamers are very happy about this decision. This shows again that the devs are willing to take feedback seriously, which is amazing. So this was one of the reasons why inZOI was getting some hate. Let's move to the next one. So people have a lot of things that they are upset about, and I want to make this clear. It's okay for you to not want to support a game for whatever reason. What is a problem is the toxicity that is festering in the gaming community, and it's just exhausting to see. Let's begin with the Sims 4 fandom. This also ties to some comments that we have seen from EA network creators. Before I begin, please understand that this is not bashing any creators. I don't want to see you going to any creator and saying, oh, this creator is bad and terrible, or even you bashing them in the comments. If I see you bash any EA creator, I'm banning you off the channel. Because as I've said, I want to have this community where we can have respectful, adult-like conversations. I don't want toddlers in the comment section. I want adults that I can talk with and we can share our opinions and talk about them in a respectful manner. So this post was made on Reddit by user Foreign Mom, controversy with Lil Simsy, comments about inZOI. And the post reads, for those saying she supported other games like Life by You and Pair Lives. Well, those were never going to be EA competitors, so please don't even bring that as an argument. She has the right to not like the game, but saying she's getting bad vibes from it when we all know the history with Sims 4 and their thousands DLC and always trying to push an agenda through different creators doesn't give good vibes at all. I'm excited to see all the new creators that blow up and thrive from this game. This is the competition that EA needs and that we've all been waiting for. Maybe thanks to inZOI, The Sims 5 will actually be worth considering. Edit. When I say they are not competitors, what I mean by that is that EA is not threatened by them. But the silence of these big life simulation players towards inZOI says a lot about how EA feels. And this Reddit post shows a can of worms that has been opened about EA creators. And I've been seeing a lot of videos also going around recently where, creators are bashing EA creators. I don't think it's fair for you to be bashing people when you don't know whether they like the game or not. As I've said, for example, with me, when I do any sponsored video, I have very tight rules to run the ship that is called Miss Bubbles channel. You're not gonna come here and tell me what I can say and I can't say just because you're paying me. You can't buy me. I'm not a sellout. I'm pretty sure a lot of other people are the same like me. So I don't like when people just bunch everyone together and make these like hateful videos and rage titles about like, oh, EA creators are the worst and stuff like that. Like, let's calm down a little bit. Let's chill. And in case you don't know what the Creator Network is, this is a program by EA, Electronic Arts, where creators are given exclusive access to EA opportunities, including game codes, events, merch, and potential sponsored work. And of course, with EA's countless DLCs and how positive creators can be when discussing these DLCs, I understand why people think like, yeah, maybe having these sponsorships means that there's a shill behind it and there's no way someone can be paid and not be honest. Again, it's not my place to say if these creators are honest or not. I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. I don't know, again, how their contracts are. I don't know what the NDAs are. I don't know any of that. But generalization and just like, painting everyone evil, again, things are not this black and white. There is gray areas. What I can comment on is based on my own sponsorship with EA for The Sims 4 Horse Ranch. I'm not an EA creator program partner, whatever. I was able to be transparent with my experience as I insisted to have that clause in my contract. The video is still up and you can see I was commenting on the performance. Because of NDAs, I cannot go into further details, but I'm here to say that it is possible to do paid work with EA and work on something that you love while still being honest. Anyways, let's read some of the comments that were posted on this Reddit thread. Yeah, I don't trust any of the big Sims YouTubers. None of them got early access, so they're all either tied into contracts with EA or were literally paid off by EA. So this comment is talking about EA creators who did not get early access for inZOI. Another comment said, I agree, ever since they got paid by EA on some occasions, I don't trust their vision about anything they say anymore. I used to watch James Turner, Lil Simsy, and Hypocrisy a lot in the past, but I don't trust their judgment anymore. And I stopped watching their videos for over a year now. Another comment says, it's so funny to see diehard The Sims fans finding flaws in inZOI. The very same group that spent the last 10 plus years going to bat for EA, saying things like, it's okay, I had fun, to every single issue brought up by other players. But then with inZOI, suddenly they are professional game critics. They bring up features that took years for EA to implement and say, well, inZOI doesn't have this niche feature at launch, The Sims 4 clearly is better. The goalposts keep shifting, you can tell how threatened they feel. There are a lot of comments with a similar sentiment of people not believing what creators under the EA Creator Network are saying, as the community has lost faith in them, since they mostly seem to hype up The Sims' countless DLCs despite their many flaws. As I said, I don't know what's happening in the contracts. I don't know exactly who is not being honest, but for example, I watch Plumbella. I think Plumbella is part of the EA network and she's always very honest with what she says. And if I'm mistaken with that, please correct me respectfully in the comment section. So yeah, I've seen some creators sometimes do mention the negatives of the many DLCs, but again, I don't watch that many Sims reviews anymore since I am sick and tired of all the unnecessary DLCs, so I'm not up to date over every single creator and who's part of the network and who's not. I think it's important for me to talk about sponsorships and stuff like that, just so that some of the people who have these very wrong misconceptions about how sponsorships work can kind of chill. Are there people who do end up being sellouts and, you know, praising a game when it's actually very bad? Yes, I know some myself, but what I'm saying is the majority of people that I know are actually not shills, and even if they do sponsored work, they do tell you exactly how they feel. With all of these comments said, what did Lil Simsy say anyway? So I tried to do some digging. It was very hard to find like exactly what she said, but I found this Twitter post. Y'all been dragging inZOI for filth, trying to find any reason to not support the game, but someone tell you delete The Sims for the same reason, and now you're stuck. Let's stop being performative. Y'all are embarrassing. To which someone co-retweeted and said, for real though, Lil Simsy said she doesn't want to play inZOI because of its partnership with CurseForge, but The Sims 4 also partners with them. Again, I have no idea what Lil Simsy said, so we're just gonna go based off of what this tweet has read. I do see a lot of hypocrisy in gaming in general. I especially saw that when I played Hogwarts Legacy and the chaos that unfolded because of me playing Hogwarts Legacy. And back then I tweeted about the hypocrisy. I brought it up because people pick and choose what they want to play. They're very selective with when their rules are going to apply and to which game. I've seen that happen. I'm not saying Lil Simsy is doing that, but I'm speaking in general. I have seen this happen because I experienced it firsthand with a lot of creators trying to cancel me about me playing Hogwarts Legacy and saying if I played it, I'm a bigot, and it just makes no sense. Just because I want to play that game doesn't mean I'm a bigot. Just because you don't want to play a certain game, it doesn't mean it's okay for you to go and freaking have like a doxing website where people were trying to dox people who are streaming Hogwarts Legacy. Like, what are we doing here? I will not get into the Hogwarts Legacy drama too much because I already spoke a lot about it, but I could see the same happening now with inZOI. Now moving to the other controversy that inZOI has, you think I'm not gonna address that big elephant in the room? AI. We see so many people raging over the AI features in inZOI, but here's a Reddit post on this that I feel explains things best. The post has the title, "The Outrage Over the AI in inZOI." I'm seriously so annoyed with some simmers' outrage over the AI in inZOI. I don't like AI either, but it seems like people are completely hating on and bashing inZOI over such a small and optional feature in the grand scheme of the game. I would understand if inZOI was completely pushing the AI-generated patterns as a completely huge part of the game and you had to use it, but that isn't the case. It's only there for small design choices such as clothing patterns, wallpaper, and images in your ZOI's home. If you don't want to use the AI feature, you do not have to. There's the color wheel and picture upload tool for a reason, both of which I will be using and did use more actively during the demo because AI just isn't my thing, and it in no way took anything away from my gaming experience in the demo. AI unfortunately is an inevitable thing that people and companies are integrating more and more into media, and we should be more concerned about how, when, and where AI is being used. Plus, the devs have already spoken about the concerns. I just can't understand the selective outrage towards inZOI as a whole over such a small feature. You can just not use the tool if you don't want to. I'm not gonna let one optional feature ruin the entire game for me. And I totally agree. In my stream, I just opted out of the option. You have two kinds of AI in the game. One that makes the ZOIs interact, like they adapt to your interactions in the game, and the other one is the AI patterns that this user is talking about, and I just opted out of it. And before you riot in the comments about the environment, no matter what your issue is with AI, I respect it, and I respect your choice, but it is annoying to have people shoving their opinion down other people's throats. And for those who will try and be smart and witty and try to give me a little I gotcha, moment to fill their dopamine, let's talk about Moonfrost NFTs, because I know some of y'all are gonna try, because someone already tried to do it in one comment, so I'm gonna address it right now. Let's talk about why I was upset about that. I'm gonna leave the video for you if you want like all of the lore about that. But if someone tries to be like, oh my god, how dare you, like you used ChatGPT in your first Moonfrost video. First, I used ChatGPT because every single article that I read about NFTs made no sense. I was trying to explain what NFTs are and why they're bad, and I didn't even know how to explain it. So ChatGPT just made it very easy for me to explain it to you. And granted, after you all mentioned about the environment, I was like, okay, fine, chill. I'm not gonna use NFTs. I'm not gonna use ChatGPT anymore. But then the other important thing is that people just missed the entire point why I made this video. It was never about the environment or NFTs, as in like whether you should play a game with NFTs or not. My problem was the devs are freaking dishonest. That was the thing. I kept repeating it as well. I don't know why people always like pick and choose what they want to focus on. Even if you say it like 1,000 times, they still want to pick something that they just want to be mad about because I don't know. Y'all need some hobbies. Like in that video, I never forced you to play or not play Moonfrost. I clearly said it is none of my business if you use NFTs or play them or whatever. My issue is the devs' dishonesty. Clear and simple. And this applies here. AI is bad, especially when people lose their work for a flippin' robot. But this is not the case here. It is simply a feature that you can choose to skip. It's not like Moonfrost where your gameplay will actively be hindered and slowed down if you do not use NFTs. And I reiterate, my issue with Moonfrost for the 1,000th time is the lack of transparency when I filmed my video. Let's make this clear for the last time. You don't get to tell me what to play, and I don't get to tell you what to play either. This whole channel is built on making reviews for you to help you decide where you want to spend your cash. But what you do from there, it's up to you. It's none of my flippin' business. Anyway, here are some posts on that Reddit thread that I thought make a lot of sense and show hypocrisy in the space. The Sims just announced implementation of AI. I'm curious to see how the outraged Simmers flip the script. EA's CEO stated generative AI is the core of their company, and now Sims 4 is adding some AI features, but no one is saying a thing. The loud majority have become quiet on a topic that they were so passionate about. I find that weird and hypocritical, because they are gatekeeping Simmers who just need something unethical to hate about another life sim. If it wasn't AI, they'd find something else. I'm kind of waiting for these people to hate on Project Renee just as much because EA already stated they will use AI way more than inZOI does. But they won't, because it's $1 million studio that actually has money to pay voice actors, uses AI, it's okay. Which bothers me way more. Project Renee will use AI to generate voices and save on voice actors, and will use it for a lot more than just patterns. That's why you can't take these haters seriously. They hate it because inZOI is not Sims nor an official spin-off, and I guess the AI thing is the easiest thing to hate about it. Future Bubbles here. So I just watched Fake Gamer Girl's recent video titled Why I Regret Buying inZOI. And based on the speculation that she has shared, seems like inZOI's AI might be replacing people's jobs like voice actors. So let me be clear, I am 100% against AI replacing people's jobs. Now what she addresses in her video is again speculation, so unless we know for sure the extent to which AI is being used in this game, we just again cannot be sure. I have so much respect for her because of what I've seen on her channel. She stopped supporting EA once she learned about the implementation of AI rather than be a hypocrite. Listen, she is Arab like I am, and I'm so proud to see more of us having open gaming discussions on here. With that said, I will not sit here and be the police and cancel people who will be playing inZOI no matter what the final verdict is. I make my videos for open discussion and helping you be informed about things that may determine if you buy or skip a game. So I will not be preaching what you should do. That is none of my business. Also, I just got an invite into inZOI's upcoming partner program and I declined it. I know inZOI content can make my channel blow up, and the amount of subscribers and views I'll be getting as part of that program is gonna be life-changing for me and my channel. However, if I'm unsure about something like this, as in I'm not sure anymore if AI is used in inZOI as optional or is it actually used to strip people of their jobs, I'd rather just wait till I know 100% the full story before deciding to join a program like this. This is simply how I operate. I'm not here to tell anyone else what they should do. I'm not telling you to follow suit, especially if you're a creator. You do you, boo. Anyway, back to earlier this week's bubbles and the video. And to talk more about the AI, there's this thread that I really liked reading, and I liked the comment on it. Can't stand the hate over the AI in this game. Someone made a post 6 months ago about this, but I keep seeing people on Blue Sky get really hyped for inZOI, and someone else replies to the post saying, sadly, inZOI uses AI. And then there's a flood of posts in reply to that agreeing. I just do not understand the hate over AI when the feature is 100% optional, insignificant, and Crafton has even said that it is sourcing AI AI via copyright, free materials, and proprietary assets. If that is truly the case, this is the most conscious way to use AI in a video game. People who despise AI are also likely in for a rude awakening. I just saw a job posting for a motion graphics designer, and the job candidate in question should explicitly know how to use AI to develop a brand. You can argue whether or not AI tools would truly be helpful, especially since they have moral concerns in some programs, and personally, I wouldn't want to hire a graphic designer who is using AI instead of their own creativity. But artificial intelligence is becoming normalized in many industries. Companies are looking for people familiar with these tools. If you're strictly averse to using AI, you will become obsolete. I am against, AI replacing people's jobs. I've been very clear about that and stealing people's work. And I really like this reply to the post. It sums up everything. Okay, so this is a complicated topic for me. I am one of the artists whose job is technically threatened by AI. So I understand people having a negative reaction to the idea of a game incorporating an AI component. I also understand the urge to defend it, but I think this is more of a gray area. The way it's being used in this game is actually the correct way, I think. Because it's a life simulation game and the AI is being used to give the player infinite creative power when it works. To be honest, it's a little wonky still. I'm not sure if the technology is quite there yet. The pushback to it is a knee-jerk reaction to AI's overall threat to artists, which is not imagined. AI gives CEOs a way to lay off hundreds or thousands of workers while keeping more and more profit for themselves. And while this could be a good thing, if, for example, AI was used to do dangerous jobs that people shouldn't be doing, it isn't being used for the better. Its first target is to get people out of jobs they enjoy and that bring personal satisfaction and enrichment, and into the dangerous jobs that don't pay well and leave you feeling drained and depressed. I don't think inZOI is the place to have this discussion. I really don't. Krafton is a smaller studio who want to give players freedom of expression, and they're using a very basic AI tool to do that. I don't see anything wrong with that. But I also don't think the fear of AI and what it's capable of in a runaway capitalist system is one to be shrugged off either. And yeah, this sums up where I stand about AI as well. And I think this is a good segue now to go to the polar extreme opposite, which is inZOI fans wearing their rose-colored glasses with toxic positivity that is just so annoying to see, and can we chill as well. But before we get into that, hello you gorgeous human being, it's Miss Bubbles. If you're enjoying this video, consider supporting me, whether it's through coffee or becoming a channel member, which will grant you plenty of perks. I work very hard to make these videos for you and to open up this amazing community that we can all share. So every little bit of help goes a long way, and if you can, squish the like and subscribe buttons. So this Reddit post explains the toxic positivity very well, and I couldn't have said things better myself. Remember, we are consumers, not members of sports team. Yes, we all see the sort of cult-like devotion some people have to EA and The Sims 4. Too many are justifying EA's cash-grabby, exploitative practices and actively rooting for inZOI to fail because they're so invested in The Sims 4. This behavior is unhinged and bad. On the flip side, some people are showing signs of the same behavior with inZOI too. I'm already seeing players blindly rooting for inZOI to be the savior of the life sim genre. I'm also seeing people buying into Krafton's PR speak, like how inZOI gives you free DLC while it's in early access. Yeah, nah, this is called updates, it's not free DLC. It's Krafton rebranding updates for an early access game as free DLC, because it makes it sound like we're being given something rather than just getting the updates we should get. Let's not become blind devotees of Krafton and inZOI the way too many Sims players are with EA. Remember, it is not in our interest that inZOI replaces The Sims 4 and as the monopoly in the life sim genre. It is in our interest that the life sim genre has healthy competition. We are not members of Team inZOI or Team Sims 4. We are consumers who should be holding companies accountable and vote with our wallet. This is so true. It's like these useless console wars, for example. Now the same is happening over a flipping video game. As for the DLC comment, I actually pointed this out in my stream and I said yeah, it's cool. We're only paying $40 for this game. It has a lot of potential and we're gonna get access to these DLCs. But I also said that we have no idea what type of DLCs they're gonna be, as well as we have no idea how these DLCs are going to be made when the game is in full release. So it's good PR talk, but it is disguising things and it can be misleading. Also, the toxic positivity and rose-colored glasses that inZOI fans are wearing is just childish, and sometimes I truly feel like the world is split these days into 50% NPCs or just echo chambers. Like, they have no capacity to do critical analysis and thinking on their own. This is why I had to even start this video by saying like, hey, if you're gonna be just rude and disrespectful, I'm just gonna ban you off the channel because I just have no space for that. I really love having critical analysis and, you know, having these topics to talk about in a respectful manner, but it feels like these days people online just have so much anger and they just take it out over everything, and because they have this anonymity that can disguise them, they think that being rude and bitchy is a good thing, and like, no. And mind you, all of this love for inZOI was fostered within these people that did not even play this game. Like, this Reddit post was made on March 21st, a week before the release date of inZOI's early access. So whether we have the toxicity or we have people like either loving or hating the game, it's just such a toxic place to be at right now. And this brings me to the gaming space in general, and something that I posted in my community post where I said like, guys, I just need to vent about this. Like, I love talking with you guys. I love the safe space that we have here, and I just need to address this. It feels like you're doomed no matter what you do or play. If you play, let's say, Baldur's Gate 3, and it means you support bestiality. Yes, someone came into my Discord and that's what they thought. If you play Atelier Games or Stellar Blade, it means you support sexualization of women. Again, yes, this is something that someone brought up in my Discord and they were like, I support the sexualization of women. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you on about? I'm literally writing an MPhil about protecting women's rights. I have literally worked 10 years in the politics field working about human rights and supporting women. Who do you think you are coming here and say stuff like that? What? If you play Hogwarts Legacy, you're a bigot. If you play Dragon Age the Veilguard, you are woke. If you play Assassin's Creed and you love it, you're a shill. If you love inZOI, then you support all forms of AI and you're against humanity. It's just so exhausting. I'm happy that I only get exposed to this about 5 to 10% of the time, whereas 90 to 95% of the time I have very positive and supportive community. Like, I love how beautiful our community is, but it is exhausting when I still see these comments slip, and I know a lot of my content creator friends go through so much crap from people, and it's just so sad to see, especially when it's over video games. What I encourage you to do is to make up your own mind and support what you want to support without shoving your opinion down people's throats. Engage in constructive discussions and be respectful as you go to the comment section so we can talk more about this. And watch this video next because your girl got to play freaking Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, and I have a lot to say about it. Thank you to my wonderful Patreon and YouTube bubblies who make videos like this possible, and a shout out goes to the Game Dimension, Jake Logan, and Will for going the extra mile. Until next time, stay bubbly.